I told you. Hangout on Air is live.
We're here. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
We have 3 viewers now. If you can, comment in the sections. We're trying a new mic right now. If this sounds good, let us know.
Wait, can you post this on Facebook so people know?
Yeah, we can do that.
Isn't that what you usually do?
It says it's starting soon on here. So we are going to be going over some of the questions that people had. I started the moderator. People have already been posting on there, and yeah. So
there we are.
Yep. So this right here is where we could see people's comments right over here, and that way they can let us know. We started a couple minutes early just so we could test this audio. We wanted to make sure that you actually could hear us. So you can either comment on my Facebook, or you can comment on
Did
here.
you post that on Facebook?
Not yet. We'll get to some of the questions.
Is this different than we did it before?
Nope, it's the same.
Oh.
So the first question is on Moderator is, what little things can we as subscribers and fans do to help UNG out? An example would be giving our suggestions, thoughts on possible diagnosis for mechanical general issues, but what other sorts of small things from us would help you guys out? What do you think, G?
That's very, very nice of you. Just watching us helps us out, really, right?
Yeah, I would say like sharing the videos. If you liked a video, posting it to your Facebook wall, just mentioning us,
telling your friends about us.
Yeah, I think that's the best. Just getting more people watching and more people, I guess, just motivated to do the RV thing. Because on my wall, what happens a lot is people send me pictures of the rig they got, and okay, Ross Round says it's on, can hear you fine.
Perfect. Thanks, Ross Round.
Yeah, it's just people sharing stuff on our walls, even on Facebook, like people, like I said, showing pictures of their rigs and tagging us in it. You know, that helps out considerable. I think it's the best thing people could do to, you know, help us out on the channel. And of course the mechanical suggestions and everything, you know, whenever we do have something going on, people give suggestions. It kind of gives me a little bit of ammunition against different shops. You know, be like, okay, they may try and charge you for this, but make sure they do it this way. Because when we started getting into this Class A lifestyle, we really didn't know too much about it. So that definitely helps out.
Wait, what is this moderator thing?
So moderator, for those that don't know, when you're watching this video, in the description, I posted a link. And what people can do, you can vote up the questions that you think are good questions. So we're not getting inundated with a bunch of questions. People can go here, ask their questions, and if it's a good question that people want to know, then everybody votes it up higher and higher.
Cool. Okay, next.
Yep. What's the next question, G?
What jobs are waiting for you and G in Alaska when you get there? Well, I am going to be working at a brewery like I did last summer, and then also at a clothing store. A locally owned clothing store that our friend owns. I'm going to be working there as well. And then we're volunteering. Yeah, if you told me that seriously.
I don't think so. We're volunteering somewhere.
Yeah, we're volunteering somewhere.
It's not 100% yet, but it'll be a work camping thing we're going to be doing in Seward. I have a job lined up. I was trying to get it completely away from bartending, but I did get a job lined up. A friend of mine's recommended me for it. And it's just going to be a couple days a week. And that is just so I have a solid income. This year is going to be more for trying to get my online business situated, selling photos, selling the book, and just concentrating on YouTube, getting a lot of stuff done that I need to get done, and try and make this mobile lifestyle where I'm actually able to make a living on the road. I'm trying to transition into getting a solid foundation this summer. So I'm only going to be working 2 days a week. And that solid income I have will help pay for the RV and buy food and take trips in Zep, my camper van. Because I'm not getting rid of Zep. Still going to have him. So I'll need that money to, you know, repairs, gas money to go up in the Kenai Peninsula and fish and all that good stuff. So those are the jobs we have lined up. Excited to get back up there.
Look.
G's looking at the number of people.
Hello, everybody.
Chris, what is your degree in? my degree is in packaging technology. The way that I describe it is it's more like packaging engineering. When I did my internship in Chicago, I worked with expanding foams. So the example I always give is if Sony came out with a 42, 44, and 46-inch TV and they want to fit it in one specific mold packaging that passes ANSI standards, the vibration and the drop tests, it'd be my job to go and look at all 3 TVs, make a package that will stand up to whatever conditions it needs to be in, and then our salespeople would go back to Sony and try and sell them the molds with the certain type of foam that I designed it with. That's when I was working 9 to 5, making great money, but I hated my life, and that was the last 9 to 5 I ever had. But that was what my degree was in. What about you, G? What's your degree in?
They didn't ask.
Well, just go and tell them.
It's in family psychology.
Here's one for you. You want to read that one,
That's
G?
really personal.
You want to know?
Okay. It says, do you and G want to get married? And if so, what? And wait, I didn't finish.
Oh, I thought you read it. Sorry. We're flipping back and forth to screens. Make sure we get everybody.
And if so, what and where would be a perfect place? Always watch your vids. Thanks.
What do you think, G?
This is really personal to talk about on a video. I think I'm blushing. I don't know.
Let's see.
Let's
yeah, you are getting pretty red.
This is like really awkward to talk about live.
Well, apparently we'll get back with you on that.
We
one.
like Alaska. Next question, I'm turning red.
That's funny.
What's your opinion on that question, Beba?
I don't know. I'm turning red.
Oh, we did that.
Do you guys ever forget? Do you ever forget the camera's rolling and talk about stuff you don't want to on YouTube?
That's a really funny question.
Do we? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think there's ever been one time the camera's wrong. Like, oh, we got to edit that out.
Wait, I say that all the time.
Well, you tell me to edit stuff out, but I never do.
Yeah, I guess
But
so.
it's not like we're going down the road and we forget the camera's on. It's like there's just set times that we have the camera on, and it's just like everyday life, you know, like whenever we come to cool landscape and I want to show it the note, which the note is my front camera recording in the GoPro. I'll be describing the landscape where we're at, and then once we leave that landscape, once we go somewhere else, then it's just on to somewhere else, you know. So it's just we have set times. It's just like the camera's on, it's off, we're talking about what's going on, or we're just cruising, you know. There's never really a line that we have that, you know, it's on and off.
What kind of gas mileage do you get on your Monarch? How big are your holding tanks, and how long can you go before dumping? Great question. Our what kind of gas mileage? We get 7 on average.
Around 7.
On highways. How big are our holding tanks? Eva?
The black water is 30, gray water is 40. Our fuel tank is 75, and we go at more recently. Like, it's never been to the point where we're like, oh my gosh, we have to dump these tanks.
We kind of just. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it just kind of works out that like when we happen to be at a camp spot or a campsite, then that's like about the time that we need to dump.
Yeah.
So.
We've been doing more camp spots than we originally thought, and
I love them. I
mean, yeah, it is great, and we use Passport America. So we paid what, $10 the other night?
Yeah.
For water and electric and a dump. It's like it's the pros and cons with ZEP versus the Class A. With ZEP, we could always stealth camp anywhere. With this, you can't really do that as much. So whenever we're on the Oregon coast, for example, if we were in ZEP, we probably would still have to get a campground. But or California coast or Washington coast, just wherever we're at the time, where like the coasts are known where you can't just pull over on the side of the road. It's what I'm getting at. Like, we would have to get a campground while we're there. It's not really an option. So it happens more organically where we have options to dump our tanks, and that's why we have never really got to the point to where we're going to overflow our tanks.
Yeah.
So we'll go to this next question over here. Once again, if you do have any questions, we do have Moderator. It's linked below in the video there. You can click on it. And
wait, there's a question up here that we skipped. I like your videos. I thought G has a blog. How do I find it and what is it about? We'll be traveling in a trailer in 6 months, and I like the info you put out in your videos. Thank you, Lacey from Minnesota. My blog, I think, will be coming out tomorrow.
Are you set on that?
I mean, it's almost done. I just need to like tweak a couple things. It's still gonna be a work in progress when it's published. But it will be. I'll tell everyone what it is soon.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. And my blog is gonna be just about I've been posting about places we go. I think I'm gonna have some healthy smoothie recipes on there, and just kind of travel life related posts.
Yeah, she just did one. I'm going to tell them what you were talking about, the one you showed me. She had a great introduction to it, and it was the benefits of traveling while you're young.
Yeah.
And so she's going to, and it's her perspective in the RV, because I notice a lot of times while we're doing the videos, it's like me talking and G just sitting there going, mm-hmm. I'm like, do you need to talk about stuff? She's like, yeah, you're just she doesn't have anything to say at the time.
I like to write more than I like to talk live.
Exactly. I tried to convince her for over a year now to do her own videos, but
I'd rather write.
So
I like participating. I love being in videos, but I don't know. I'm not really wanting to hold the camera and tell you a bunch of stuff. I'd rather just write.
So it's going to be more her perspective on that website. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow you will will talk about it.
What is it? Okay, I guess I should read these before I read them out loud. Okay. What is it like traveling through Canada? The differences from the U.S. Chris, have you decided on to get an extended warranty on Atlas? When are we going to see G Drive Atlas?
Good questions.
Thank you, Kimo from Honolulu, all the way from Honolulu.
So we'll start with question number one. What's it like traveling through Canada? It's a lot different.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Once you get further up north, the roads get pretty nasty, which that's the one thing I'm really nervous about coming up. You can't use Discover Card. Discover Card's what I use
and the
for my gas.
Costs an arm and a leg.
Yeah, gas is super expensive. I'm kind of nervous about that.
Those are the negatives, but there's lots of positives.
Yeah, there's great positives. People there are really friendly. The travel stations there, the places where you can stop and ask questions, they have cameras where you can actually see the road conditions where you're going. They know the weather, they know the traffic, they know if anything's shut down. And they're just really friendly. They're really nice. We look forward to going to the rest stops, not the rest stops, but the travel stations.
Yeah, because
in Canada,
are very, very nice.
So they're really excited about your trip. They're asking about it.
Yeah.
And
but he wants the differences from the U.S.
That is a difference in the U.S. The U.S. I feel like doesn't have anything like that.
That's true. And the gas is more expensive.
And the landscape's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. And are we getting a warranty on Atlas?
So. I haven't mentioned this in a video. I was going to do a whole separate video on it. I probably still will. There was an extended warranty company, and in the early goings, I was kind of messaging around, being like, "Hey, kind of interested." And then I talked to the salesman, and I was like, "Hey, if you want, give me a little bit of discount, and I'll talk about the warranty and how it's going for me, and I'll tell them, exactly how it goes." And that's the last I heard from him. So. That gives me the idea that they don't want their processes being put out on the internet. So why would I spend that much money for something if they're not willing to show how their business works and how things actually work with their business? You know what I mean? That's a red flag for me. And since then, I haven't even looked into it. People mentioned put back $200 a week for maintenance repairs, and I think that's what I'm going to do when I'm in Alaska. Once we start making money, I'm going to put aside $600 to $800 a month, and that's going to be for any repairs I need in the future. I think that's a better investment, and just in case things go well, you can get it figured out. But I'm learning with this Class A, you become a carpenter, a plumber, a mechanic, and a lot of things you can get fixed yourself, and you gain that knowledge. So I'd rather invest that money into myself, into my knowledge, to doing things myself. And that's kind of where I'm at with the extended warranty.
Yeah. Oh, when are we going to see G Drive Atlas? Probably never.
Well,
I'm afraid.
We were going to do it in Arizona.
Oh yeah.
But
things got hectic.
Just so she would have her home territory to do it. Yeah. Maybe in the Alcan whenever we get to the big flat stretches.
I shouldn't crack my jokes on the video.
So that's the that's the plan. I mean, but the thing is, it's not gonna be one of those we're gonna force it just for views. Like it would probably do great on views, but until she's ready, we're not gonna push anything with that.
It took me a whole like 2 years to drive Zep.
So think about Atlas. If you had to pick one pet peeve of each other, what would it be? What would your pet peeve be?
Pet peeve?
Pet peeve of maybe.
You go first. These are quite personal, everybody.
I would say she always puts her hair up in a bun.
I would say that his head is flaky from being sunburned.
It's from running with you.
Okay, but really, what's your pet peeve? I already know what my pet,
Okay, you
what
go
your
first.
pet peeve is of me.
What's that?
Having to ask you things more than once.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I already know.
That's true. So we'll like this morning we were getting ready to go somewhere with our friend who we're visiting right now. Obviously, we're not in Atlas right now. Well, actually, I don't know if you can tell or not. If I do that, you definitely can't tell.
Atlas.
But I was getting some videos done,
location.
trying to get some videos done, and G's like, "Do you want a shirt?" I was like, "No, I'm fine." And then like 5 minutes later, she's like, "You sure it's kind of hot out there? You sure you don't want a t-shirt?" I was like, "No, I'm okay." And then
that was it. I only asked you twice.
Yeah, right.
I asked you the third time because I was joking.
Yeah, right.
What? No, 100%.
Okay, then I guess that's it. What's your biggest pet peeve of me?
Oh, when I tell you things and you're in front of the computer, and so later on I'll like talk about it, and you're like, "You never told me." I'm like, "I 1000% told you." That's probably my biggest pet peeve. Okay.
Well, sometimes when I'm
but
on the
those
computer,
things don't outweigh the good.
Get off
babe.
me. Get off me.
Okay, scroll down. Next.
I think we're on the next.
Wait, I'm confused because.
Do you miss solo days of traveling in Zep? Are you going to do any upgrades to Zep when you get back to Alaska? That's no GoPro pronto. Been talking to her for a long time. She was commenting on videos back in Arizona when I lived in Arizona.
That's very nice.
I would say, yeah. I mean, anybody that travels, you're gonna miss any avenues. I miss backpacking. I miss traveling in a train. I mean, I miss it for the same reasons why I love this type of travel. You know, it's always the give and take. But when I'm in Alaska, I'm gonna have Zep, and I'm gonna be taking solo trips.
Yeah.
You know, just going out and traveling in Zep, doing some fishing, doing some survival videos. Not like going out in the middle of nowhere and like, oh, can I get home? But just like, you know, doing the free camping, foraging, going out there, living off the land type stuff. And I'll be doing that in Zep this upcoming summer. So.
It keeps like getting.
And the reason why we're looking at the screen so intent right now, we're not looking at ourselves. We're looking at the moderator, and once again, if you are just joining us, you can go to the moderator.
That is the most checked question. I guess we didn't answer it.
If you are wanting to ask questions, go to the moderator, and then people can vote up your question for us to see on here. So we're looking at the questions right now, the ones we haven't answered yet.
We've done all of these.
Oh, I just saw after Alaska, Canada, and everywhere else, what's next? Europe, South America. That's from Steve in Vancouver.
Hello, Steve in Vancouver. We really want to go like overseas again at some point, but I think this winter we're just gonna travel in the RV.
I have so much going on. Yeah,
sales stuff.
I have so much going on right now with the distributing, with the plans I have with that. I need to get that business set up. It has huge potential. And I feel like the years and years that I've been kind of doing the YouTube stuff leading up to this upcoming summer and fall and spring. Mm-hmm. And then if that goes well, I mean, I've been thinking about the possibility of going over to New Zealand and renting a camper over there and doing like a month in New Zealand. But that is once I get the business set up and once the YouTube channel, because right now it drives me nuts, but we're traveling so much. I have so much I want to do with the YouTube channel. I have so much I want to do just with my online presence there that I just don't have time for. I've kind of worn myself thin. I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but just between the book, the business, the website, and getting to Alaska, like every second of the day for me is going, you know? So right now our immediate future is just to get things figured out with that.
Wait, I just saw one.
What would you see?
Oh, that one. But I saw another one.
Chris, what would you do differently to buy a Class A RV again? And that is from Chris from Dallas. I'll have G look at these while I answer that. Yeah, I would do a lot different, I think. I don't know. I definitely wouldn't have bought a as new RV. In my head, again, this is a big mistake. I'm going to do a video on this so nobody else makes this mistake. But just because you buy a newer RV does not mean it's not going to have problems. It's going to have just as many problems as an older RV. All the problems that I've had with Atlas are problems that I would expect from a 10 to 15-year-old RV. And, you know, it's just a mistake I made and a mistake I'm learning from. But I think at the same time, it's not really a mistake because we are going to be living full time out of it and is like a nicer RV. And, you know, until you actually live full time in an RV, then you really don't understand how it works. Like even from Zep to Atlas, it's a whole different ball game. It's completely different. So, you know, it's a learning experience. So, I mean, if I was out there to do it all over again, if I was back in December and I was looking at RVs, I'd be looking at an older one. Without a doubt, one that didn't cost as much, but you know.
But we love Atlas.
Yeah, absolutely. Blessed to have the opportunity to have Atlas.
Okay. Seeing how G loves critters, I do love the critters. How long before a dog comes on board?
How long you think, G?
Probably a while. I really, really want one, but it just doesn't make sense.
Like for those that haven't heard much. Oh, thanks, G.
Keep going.
I don't know if I can do that while you're doing that. I feel like I'll fall asleep.
Look at all those flakies.
For those that haven't heard about me talk about my book, it's about when I traveled around with my husky. Like I was writing author's notes talking about my dog, and like I miss having a husky so much. Like she's such a great dog. Like eventually, like in the future, a husky's gonna find a home through us. We're gonna definitely adopt one. It's just a matter of time. And again,
but I mean, if we find another dog on the road that doesn't have a home and it's not a husky, we're gonna keep it.
We'll see.
Continue.
But I don't know. It's once we get the business thing figured out, like once I get that situated and if things are going well, then a dog is more feasible when we actually know a little bit more of a schedule, you know. But right now it's just not in the cards. It's not fair to the dog if you get it without having things set up for the dog. She's messing up our moderator here.
Like so many things. Okay. Okay. What do G's parents and family think of her new lifestyle? And this is Stacy from Arizona, my hometown. Oh, sorry, I just got confused. They are very supportive. I think my mom's watching us right now. Hi, Mom. But, I mean, they obviously miss me, but even if I wasn't traveling in an RV, I wouldn't live in Tucson. Sorry, Mom. So, but they're very, very supportive of it. They're the best.
Yeah, our first trip together was a fishing trip in Zep. And I think you told your mom you were going out, right?
Yeah, I had like barely known you. It's like, Mom, I'm going camping with this guy that lives in his van. She's like, okay, be careful. But it turned out well.
Yeah, I guess
they
so.
love him.
Why don't you use the slide out more? That's from Freedom too, from Illinois. And I would say because on this trip we've been going so much.
We haven't stopped in a place long enough. If we do stop in a spot long enough where we're like not staying at a friend's or family's house, we will put the slide out, but we're only there in a spot to like sleep usually, and so there's just no point.
Sleep, dump the tanks. I will transfer some files on the computer while I have a little bit of internet, a little bit of power, just so I can get the files transferred. Because it's like the amount of filming that I do in between the GoPro and the Note 4 coming out the front, plus my handheld gimbal, I go through terabytes of data. Like it's ridiculous. So I need that power. So typically whenever we park, the computer comes out, I plug in, I upload all my images, I clear out all the old data, and then by that time, after driving all day, after messing just with that, I am just out. That's why, you know, like we also do a little bit of delay in posting from just for safety wise. And we also do it because I just can't keep up sometimes. And just to clarify, I was thinking about this the other day when I mentioned that we put a gap. Like when we were at the RV show, people came up and said hi. That's not what we're saying about being safe. Like there's been times where I didn't mention where I was at. I didn't mention anything. And like I was at a friend's house and people just show up type thing. And that's what I was talking about, weird things happening. So like whenever we're at the RV show and people recognize us, that was really, really cool. You know, that's like, hey guys, we're gonna be at the RV show. If you see us, come say hi. That's completely different from hanging out at a friend's house and somebody just shows up, you know. So that's the big difference with that. Get you back in frame over here, G. Alrighty, let's check out some more questions here. Actually, let's check
I was gonna say let's check Facebook. Right? Is that what you're
I don't think I got any on. Nope, none on Facebook. I think it's all
yes, you did.
moderated.
I kept seeing it pop up.
I don't think so.
All of those.
Nope, that's just other stuff.
Oh,
so we'll just stick to moderator.
Okay.
If people have questions.
Okay. There's a whole other page.
I know, but people are voting them up. How old are y'all?
Where do you see that?
How do you think you? How long? And how do you think you will
I think
live?
That means how long.
Yeah, and that's the Phoenix Ramblers somewhere over the rainbow.
That's cute.
I'm an old man.
He's over the hill.
Not technically. I'm just about to crest the hill. I just turned the dirty 30. How old are you?
I'm 23.
She's a pup. And how long do you think you live in an RV? I don't see it ever changing.
Till the end of time.
Yep. I honestly don't ever see myself not living. And the only thing I'm going to change from an RV is a tiny home, a self-sufficient composting toilet or solar tiny home. I think that's the only upgrade I'll ever do. But we'll see. I think friends, roommates here.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi.
So yeah, if you do have any questions on here, just go to the moderator and we'll answer. Will you add more batteries and solar? And that is JD from Phoenix. Yeah, eventually I'd love to do rooftop solar with an additional 2 6-volt golf cart batteries. But since we're in Alaska, we're going to have power. So I have to pay off my credit card. I have to start paying down the RV before I start thinking about solar. Solar right now is just a bonus that I can't really have right now.
Yeah. I think we got all on this page.
So I think we got all the front page. We're going to go to the second page. Check the questions back there.
What is the weirdest shit you have ever seen while traveling? That's a really great question.
And that's Dan. What do you think, G?
I don't know. Does anything come to your mind right away?
The weirdest thing, I mean, I've seen definitely a lot of weird stuff while traveling. I mean, I don't know. There's just so much, like in between Thailand or the U.S. camper van.
Thailand stuff.
We've seen a lot of weird stuff in Thailand.
A specific example to talk about. In Thailand, I think one of the strangest things we saw, I remember there was like a whole family on a moped.
Yeah. It's like 3 babies, a mom and a dad on a moped.
Yeah, on like this tiny, with like groceries and stuff. And that was like pretty weird.
That
was some weird shit.
I'd say a ladyboy show.
Oh, that was pretty
That was kind of weird because it was like in Thailand, a lot of times when you saw girls, it looked like the most attractive girls, you just immediately thought they were ladyboys. Because that's just part of the culture over there, you know? Yeah. Which is nothing wrong with that, whatever makes people happy. But that was different. I don't want to say weird, it was just different.
Yeah.
So we'll check these questions over here. How many minutes of exercise would you say you guys average a day? What is your daily caloric intake? That's
I don't count my calories, so I don't know. I don't believe in counting calories because I think it's about quality and not quantity. Wait, go down. I was reading it. And how many minutes of exercise would you say you guys average a day? It kind of depends. I work out like 5 to 6 days a week, but it kind of just depends. Like if I'm running, when I'm training for a marathon and I have to do a long run, it will be like 2 to 3 hours. But otherwise, it can range anywhere from like 20, 30 minutes to an hour on average.
and follow up that question with that.
G, how did you come? Oh, I like these questions. G, how did you come to love running so much? And what piece of advice would you give to someone that was trying to get into running in general? And what are tips for running while on the road? Cool. Okay. I came to love running so much. Well, I was a dancer my whole life until college. And wait, I need you to like read the question while I'm answering.
Okay.
Back to it. We lost it.
We lost it.
Wait.
But it's basically just how
Go
you
back
travel.
to the first page.
Did it get moved up?
I think it was on the bottom of this page.
Nope, it was the third one.
What the heck?
So what keeps happening is it refreshes a lot with the questions.
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's so many here. Am I getting overwhelmed? Okay. Oh no, you lost it. Okay, I don't know. I'll try to remember it. Okay. This is so strange. Where did it go?
I don't know, but how did you come to love running?
Okay, anyways, sorry. I came to love running because I was a dancer until college, and then I needed something, so I stopped dancing. And my roommate at the time, who's now one of my best friends, was running marathons, and she got me started on running. And so that's how I got started. And what was it? Like, what was the rest of it? It was a good question. Like
how do you stay safe, or how do you run on the road? Like how do you do
tips for
it?
while running on the road. There's so many questions. Okay, you need to stop scrolling. You're distracting me. Tips for running on the road. I kind of have to be flexible with my training schedule because or else I would get really upset.
Because she's training for a full marathon right now.
Oh, here it is. What piece of advice would you, this is the other part. What piece of advice would you give to someone that was trying to get into running in general? I would say that everyone can, like, a lot of people are like, oh, I can't run, but you can run. You just have to really love it because, I mean, it does. Like, running marathons, you have to really love to run for 3 hours or else it kind of sucks. That's not the best thing. Oh, this is like a flashback.
Yeah.
Okay, that's confusing. Turn that off. Babe, I need you to stay on the page. Like when you're doing this stuff, it's really distracting.
People said that I needed to block somebody, so I'm doing it.
Oh
okay.
Yeah, we don't want her in this. Or him.
Okay.
Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. I would say that you just have to start off small if you're trying to get into running. Like, start doing like 1 to 2 miles, and even pausing for walking is a really good thing if you're trying to get into running in general. There's nothing wrong with like pausing to walk. I do that all the time. And then gradually you'll work your way up to it. That's what I would say. And tips for running while on the road, I always run with pepper spray. I don't know if this is the kind of tip you're looking for, but I always run with pepper spray if we're in a random spot and I don't know anyone or anything around. I run with pepper spray, and I'm super flexible with my training schedule because I know that I won't be able to stick to it because some days we don't have time for me to do like a 15-mile run. So I'm kind of flexible in that. And also I just look at it as like a way, like I love running in a random new place because it's a way to see the place like on foot. And so that's like, I guess that'd be one of my tips, like just thinking of it that way, because then it will give you more motivation to be able to run. So you're exploring and getting in a workout at the same time.
I mean, that's definitely a catalyst for me to run whenever we're in a new spot. I'm not a runner really, but whenever we're in a new spot, miles come by quicker whenever I can keep my mind off the road, like straight in front of me. I can kind of look around left to right, and it helps me as I run because I need to play basketball or racquetball to work out. I need to be competing. So that's how I do it as well.
And someone wants to know what G stands for. It stands for Gina. That is my real name, is Gina. But no one calls me
when I first met her, everybody called her G, and it just kind of stuck. Here's one. My girlfriend and I are in our 20s. We are going to be van dwelling in a conversion van for a cross-country trip this summer. In 3 months, any words of wisdom?
Lots of words of wisdom.
Absolutely. So number one, have backup funds. it's going to cost more than you think it will. No matter how much you try and plan and budget, it's going to cost more.
We tried to budget, and I don't even know where that piece of paper was.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like some people will portray relationships in like tiny homes and RVs as like smiles and rainbows all the time, but that's not the case, because you're in a tight spot. You're really going to find out if you and your girlfriend like each other. We'll put it that way, because things that are normally, like I was talking with James from Wanderlust Estate on this, things that are normally a 1 on the scale from how big of a deal it is to nothing, a 0.5 to 1 turns into like a 4 or 5, just because you're in a smaller space and you're around that person 24 hours a day, and you really find out if you're compatible with that person or not. So I definitely think about that. And sometimes it's better just to separate for like whenever, if you're boondocking in a Walmart, go in and do the shopping separate or something. Just get that 5-10 minutes apart, and then you'd be surprised how much that helps. And Dusty from Louisiana, Chris, what happened with your bike that was took the back of the RV? That video is coming up here pretty soon. But basically I had 2 locks. They cut one and they had a carabiner. And what I think they did is they wrapped it around my kryptonite lock, and then they put the front of that on a truck, and then they backed up and ripped my kryptonite lock at its little base where it connects. And I was in the RV, actually. Like, looking back, like I talk about this in the video, but looking back, I'm glad they didn't try and break into the RV. But you know,
I wasn't even there.
Yep, I filed a police report. I posted on Craigslist. If anybody happened to see it, I was going to give them a reward. It just never. I haven't heard anything back. It's gone. You know, it's just one of those things where count your blessings and just go from there.
Wait, should we go answer some of the live stream questions? Overwhelming.
And like I said, if any of you do have questions, please post it on the moderator. You're going to have a link down below, so check that out. So
you didn't answer that one.
Oh, that's a new one. You ever do any gold prospecting up in Alaska? And that's from Martha Canary, and that's from Alberta, Canada. And yes, I have a Mine Lab metal detector, and since I'm going to have more time off, I won't be working on the stupid train anymore. On one of the overnight trips I take in ZEP, we're going to be doing some prospecting. I have my gold pans. I have the metal detector. I'm going to be going to a lot of places around there and trying to grab some gold. See anything else?
Keep scrolling. What has been your best investment in a piece of camera gear?
I'd say nice lenses. I mean, the bodies are good. You can get a nice mid-range body, camera body, but the lens is really where you're gonna spend a lot of money, and that's where you're really gonna see it come through. Like my 1424 lens is a 2.8, super expensive, but it produces amazing video. That's where I get all my Northern Lights pictures with. You have to have the right type of lens for those pictures a lot of times, and definitely invest in nice glass, nice lenses. What is the coldest temps you've experienced while sleeping in ZEP, and what is the hottest temps you've experienced while sleeping in ZEP? And that's from Houston Ray 86. I'd say coldest definitely. I'd say the Alcan.
Yeah.
I'd say the Alcan hottest down in Arizona.
Yeah, for sure.
But
we have a 0-degree sleeping bag in ZEP.
Yeah, so it's nice and comfy in there. Y Class A, did you ever consider a new 4x4 truck and used high-end fifth wheel for Alaska? I thought about that, but I really don't do too much. I'm not really geared for off-roading. If I ever do an off-roading, it'll be in like a four-wheeler, like an ATV or something. So 4x4 it really isn't just my style. So that's why we went with Class A.
Should I go this way?
Yeah, we'll check out the next page.
I already answered that one.
Mm-hmm. What is the biggest
challenge cooking in an RV? What do you miss about a full-sized kitchen? That's a really great question. I have not tried out our wait, I have to read it. I have not tried out our convection oven honestly yet, so I think I'm gonna kind of struggle with that at first, just because I think it'll be different. But the biggest challenge cooking in an RV is I don't have a lot of counter space, and so I think that's really the hardest part. I just don't have a lot of room to like prepare things. That's the hardest part, I'd say.
And when you first started with Class A Atlas, you had an issue with the levelers. Has that been fixed?
Oh yeah.
Or yeah, so what's going on with the levelers right now is it gets pretty close to dead center, but it doesn't actually go to dead center. I may have to just readjust something, like the actual parameters in the unit needs to be fixed, but I've been dealing with so much other stuff. That's something I'm going to get figured out when I get to Alaska. The RV going up and down the road doesn't need the levelers, and whenever we get to Alaska, if they're still not working, I'm just going to drive on 2x6s or something to level the coach. But right now we just have so much more going on that I haven't.
Kind of like bottom of the priority list.
It's definitely bottom of the priority list. And even if we do get to a point where we need them, I can still do auto, and it still gets it very, very close to center. So it's not even really anything that I'm worried about.
I think that we should just see the questions on here, because people might have posted some that don't know how to get on here. You know what I mean?
We'll check it out. So right now we're looking over at the actual video itself. See?
Why is people saying mean things?
Question, are you? I don't know. It's probably a fake account.
But
it's probably
someone.
No, it's probably somebody, like the person we booted probably just made a quick account. Like, you can have multiple names.
Yeah, but I thought that was.
So, like I said, if you have any questions, we'll just keep it on the moderator, and then you can vote up questions, and you can ask questions on there. And just checking here. What data plan do you have? Your fabulous videos are nice and long and must be chewing through a ton of data uploaded. It absolutely is. I think I have 2.5 gigabytes left. And while it is hard, internet was a lot harder this year because I have been making longer videos, and they're made with better camera equipment, so they're bigger files. So it does chew it up. Like last year, I did shorter videos and it was less video quality. So like when going to Starbucks, we could sit there for 2 hours and wait for it to upload. Whereas here, if I try and go to Starbucks with those longer videos, it would have taken 3 or 4 hours, sometimes 5. So I just use my phone, and I had 30 gigabyte plan from AT&T, which works while I have it. But once we don't have it, we're at a friend's house right now. So, that's why we're able to do this video and not worry about data.
How hard is it to get internet service on the road in Canada and Alaska? Well, like Chris was just saying, we use his phone mostly for internet. Sometimes it's challenging, but
Canada's very challenging. Canada and Alaska are both challenging because a lot of people in the lower 48 don't realize that you have to, you basically have to pay as you go for internet. And a lot of places just don't have open internet. Like they don't allow people just to get on and use up all their data because they have to pay for it as they go.
Yeah.
So in Canada, there's a place, Destruction Bay, where we always go to, and it has internet, but it caps you off at like 2 gigabytes. So that's where it goes.
People are sometimes very mean.
So,
I saw that someone asked me what my favorite kind of donut was. And I just saw someone on there said, answer the donut question. Okay, it might appear that I eat donuts all the time, but I don't eat donuts all the time. Maybe the first time I had a donut was at Voodoo Donuts since, I don't remember how long. But I guess my favorite kind is, cinnamon sugar. I like cookies more. My favorite cookie is oatmeal chocolate chip. Is a more accurate question.
Definitely more of a cookie girl.
Yeah.
Chris, what repairs on Atlas do you see doing before you head to Alaska? Right now, I think I have it good to go. The only big thing I need to do is to you know, just make sure everything stays together. I've bought more tools just in case I do need them for the Alcan. I've basically thought of everything I may need for the road through Alaska. I mean, through Canada to Alaska, and just gonna keep my fingers crossed and just keep an eye on everything.
Did you ever
contact the RV dealer that sold you Atlas about the trouble you had? No, because
no, it's just
it would do absolutely no good. We're not around the area, and they never even told me it was a consignment. So even if I would go back and be like, look at all these problems that I'm having,
cool.
they'd be like, well, sorry about your luck, buddy.
That's all right.
And it's just not even worth the headache, the anger.
We got more important things to work with.
Yeah, so I haven't even got a hold of him, and like I was supposed to call the guy about the sponsorship and just never even called. I was just like, I'm not gonna waste my time at that place. Are you surprised by the number of people who are following you? It seems it is a lot of work to read all the comments you get. Oh, it just left.
Oh my gosh.
I woke up the other night to ask my wife, where's Chris and G?
I woke up the other night and asked my wife, where's Chris and G?
Isn't that what I said?
I thought you said, I don't know.
She wanted to know who the heck is Chris and G.
That's hilarious.
That's funny.
I'm surprised by the people that follow us.
Like I tell, like this is a conversation that whenever I meet fellow creators, I'm actually going to have an interview coming up soon with Happily Houseless. He's a guy that I met, and along with James and Mike. I haven't met James yet, but I met Mike, and they just seem like really genuine people. Like Happily Houseless is a very smart cat. Like he seems like a really he definitely has his stuff together. So I'm really excited to see the traveling he's going to be doing. I did an interview with him, and we kind of talked about this, like how many people follow us on here, and I'm
like blown away by it. Honestly,
it's an interesting question. I'm not really. I am surprised by the sheer number, but I think it's not so much that they're following us. I think people are following. They're interested in a lifestyle, I think, that's starting to develop in the U.S. Like I'm always back and forth on it. If people have always wanted to do this nomadic stuff, but now with the internet we have the option, or if the paradigm shift is happening in the U.S. right now, where people aren't thinking about the big house and the big car, they're thinking about how to live simply and how to live within their means. So I think that's where we get more followers, because we're in a transitional stage where we're doing the nomadic lifestyle organically. Like we're actually doing it, like we're actually having careers. Like with this distributor thing, where the things I'm lining up with that, like I'll have a real career with that. So I think that's the big thing that people are interested in, because we're actually doing it. You know, we're showing what it's like the day-to-day, you know, the ins, the outs, the things that we didn't expect, the things that we're finding out on the road. I think people are interested because they're interested in doing the lifestyle themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why we have so many followers. Again, I don't think it's so much us in general people follow. I think it's more just the idea of the lifestyle.
Yeah. We already answered all these. I read them.
Yeah, we're going to look at these. What is the cost of insurance in the RV? What is the best company? I go through Geico. It costs me $62 a month for full coverage. Every time I talk to them, they're really nice, really friendly. So I'm going to stick with Geico for a while. And I suggest people that are looking into full-time insurance. I told them I was full-time. Excuse me. And they, you know, what wasn't a problem. It was a little bit more expensive, but not that much.
Already answered all of these.
These are reloading fast now.
Goodness, it's like stressing me out. Okay. We already answered all these, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, what are your plans for ZEP going forward?
What are your plans for ZEP going forward while traveling in the Monarch? Are there times you miss being behind the wheel of ZEP and it just left?
Ah.
Dang it. I guess I can see what's happening is we start to read a question and then it leaves. What's your assessment of the Monarch's 4-season capability? Could you stay warm in true cold weather? Negative. Or 10 degrees forward. The plans with Zepp, I'm probably never going to get rid of that thing. Probably going to have it until it doesn't move.
We love Zepp.
It'll always be a secondary vehicle for me. It's much smaller. I can urban camp. I can do just so much with it. And of course, when I'm driving the Monarch, of course I miss Zepp whenever I'm trying to go into a parking lot and trying to maneuver around places. And, but at the same time, I know whenever we get to Alaska and we're living out of it full time, I'll be glad that I have the space. It's give and take. The assessment of the Monarch's 4-season capability, I would say so far it's been on par with what I expected just from my research of Monaco. It does have a under bay heat, so whenever I plug into power, I do have all my tanks heated up. I have a large Mr. Buddy heater with 2 propane tanks. So I leave that on for about 10 minutes. It warms up the whole coach and it retains that heat. But I really won't know the true cold until I get in that situation again. In Indiana, we were not living out of it at that time. We were just moving stuff in. I would come out, turn the furnace on, do whatever I need to do in the RV, and then I'd go sleep inside. So I really don't know the cold weather yet. But
goodness,
that is, in the future, what career would you pursue?
I have no idea. I really have no clue. I don't know, something with kids or nutrition or like orphanages or something. I don't know. I went to school for family psychology and I really still don't even know what I want to do yet. So I don't know, like traveling, helping kids in orphanages or something. I don't know.
Maybe you can be a motivational speaker.
I kind of lately have been thinking of being a life coach. I'm serious. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Or I kind of also sometimes I just think, I'm like, maybe I'll be that. That sounds good. Like this happens to me all the time. Like I'll see something somewhere. I'm like, oh, that could be a good career. So like maybe I can't be a motivational speaker because I don't like speaking in public, but maybe like a life coach because I do have a psychology degree, or something that has to do with like holistic medicine because I like that kind of stuff too. I don't know.
Sure. Arkansas's Mike, is your book going to be in paper book also? I don't know. When I'm in Alaska, if I have time and I find a place where I can actually print it and get it shipped out, but right now it's going to be strictly ebook. And the way that I mentioned before, it's pre-sales right now. I've been working on it today. So I need to finish some photos, some author's notes, but we're going to be just doing an ebook. And whenever people buy it through PayPal, whatever PayPal email address is on your PayPal, I'm just going to send you a Word document or a Libre. There's Libre. You can get it free on download.com. And you can just bring that over and then I'll just send it to you that way. So it's just going to be an ebook. It's going to be a PDF document. And that's how we're going to.
Wait, there's a question up there.
What's up?
Yeah.
Do you make money with photography? If yes, what type of photography and how? That's from Jeff. The only way that I'm going to be making money from my photography is selling it on the social media nomad site. But I'm not going to officially be selling those until later. Once I get into Alaska, and I'm actually able to ship it.
Yeah. Okay, that's the question that's going to be next.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so first, you both are inspiring. Thank you very much, Louianne. I'm glad to hear that. Some of the adventures you both encounter can be frightening. Would you ever travel alone or recommend other women to do so? Yes, I think it's really, really awesome when women travel alone, and I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't, but I do think that you have to take safety precautions, unfortunately, as a woman when traveling alone, just because sadly that's the reality of it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Like I do know some, but I read a lot of blog travel posts of women that travel alone. And I just think you have to take the extra steps to be extra safe about it. Obviously, I feel more comfortable and more safe when we travel together, which is all the time. And I would be scared if I was by myself, but I don't think that I think it's very possible. that make sense? I kind of remember.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's just more of a thing where people have a perceived notion of how scary it is on the road, but until you get that first night of sleeping in your vehicle and you wake up the next day and everything's okay and you wake up to this beautiful scene, like that's when you're hooked, and that's when you know everything's going to be okay. You don't have to worry. There's 99% of good people out there in the world, and you just got to watch out for the 1%, but
wait, I think there's a question.
What's up?
Oh, never mind.
So we're still looking through the moderator.
I think we already entered all these. We did all of these, I think, right?
I think so.
Did you get the steering issues? Wait, did we answer this yet?
Did you get the steering issues solved? And give us an update on G's cooking videos and vlog.
Well, it's going to be a blog, not a vlog, because I like to write, and I guess it's coming out tomorrow. I think.
Yep. I'm going to tell everybody tomorrow, regardless of what she says.
All right, it's happening tomorrow. And what was the other question?
The steering issue.
Oh yeah, we did get that fixed in Tucson. We got that fixed.
Yeah, so they just realigned it. The vibration's still there, but it hasn't went out of alignment yet. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's something that's just natural. And I did find out the rattle behind the driver and passenger seat, and that's in a future video.
Yeah.
But it was something that, after looking at it for a while and getting it figured out, it was, something just had to deal with, and ended up not costing anything. So that was good. Again, that goes back to fixing an RV yourself. You save a lot of money.
So
we're going to be on for another 5 minutes.
We have 5 more minutes.
If you guys have any...
but we like doing these, so we'll probably do them again soon. It's just a matter of when we can get good enough internet.
Yeah, we'll probably be trying to do these once we get to Alaska.
Oh, wait, go up. We didn't read that one. Do you experience swelling of legs, feet, or soreness after a long day of driving? That's a great question, because I'm actually having a problem with my hip right now, and I think it's kind of from running, but I think sitting for a long time while we drive is making it worse, and so we kind of stop to do like stretch breaks and stuff like that a lot. And my legs do get like sore. I can't really sit in one spot for a long time. Like I don't know if you've noticed, but when I'm sitting here, I like stretch and I like fumble around. I like can't like sit in one spot for that long. So yes.
And it's so much of a harder driving that thing over Zepp. Like after a long day, like if I drive 6 or 7 hours, by the end of the day, I'm just exhausted. Like I'm just really tired. My eyes are sore. Like I'm just ready to just lay down.
Yeah.
So definitely I experienced that.
I like these healthy food questions. Chris and G, what are your absolute favorite vegetables to eat on the road, and where do you like to shop for vegetables, fruits while traveling so much? I am kind of a grocery store snob, and I am obsessed with finding like health food stores and organic local grocery stores, or even just like healthy grocery stores in general. Favorite vegetables would be mushrooms, asparagus, definitely some peppers, and Brussels sprouts. And I kind of just search. Like if we're in a town and I know we have to go to the grocery store, I try to find a good one, like via maps or whatever.
Absolutely. And I just let G go and shop and whatever.
And then I also saw a question that said, how often do we grocery shop? And we grocery shop a lot, because I love grocery shopping. And we buy a lot of like fruits and vegetables and like non-preservative stuff, and so that stuff goes through faster, and so we have to go more often to get that kind of stuff. But we are obsessed with Costco, and so stuff like nuts and stuff like that, and like coconut oil that we can buy in bulk, we'll like get all at once and not have to deal with that kind of stuff for a long time. But then we'll just go on like little grocery store trips for like fruits and veggies and
people always ask like how I stay bigger on the road. Like I haven't lifted weights consistently since Florida, and that was
January.
That was January, and I think it's because we just eat healthy. Like I eat healthy, and I think I just have decent genetics too, so that helps with it as well. But once I get back to Alaska, I'll be working out and eating healthy all the time. Like I was pretty fluffy after the train last year because it's just all terrible processed foods, and you get bored on the train. Why not have a 500-calorie cinnamon roll? So that's kind of how that worked out.
Okay, wait, go to the next and see if there's any.
All right, we're going to answer a couple more questions here. And then we're getting off here.
Oh, we answered this, we answered this.
We answered a lot of these.
How many miles a day do you do? You haven't answered that yet.
Depends, anywhere from 100 to 400.
Yeah.
The other day we did 350.
That's a long day.
It's a long day. But I mean, when you're on the interstate, it's not too bad. I want to buy a drone like a Phantom, but there's so many like the Phantom 2 Vision Plus and Blade because I want to do kind of like you do because I like video lands. I mean, there are so many. I couldn't tell you. I haven't had the drone up that much just because we've had adverse weather a lot of times. But definitely just do. I would definitely get a cheaper one first without a camera. Get used to flying it, then get one that's a little bit more expensive and have the gimbal. Because once you crash those, man, you're gonna be spending some money.
Okay. For those of us that are first-time RVers, what would be your advice? I have lots of advice.
Well, our advice stems from our experience. Like it's not like we're big RVers. There's people out there that you should be asking that way more than us. We're diving into this from from a
newbie perspective.
Yeah,
I would say it's very important that you organize your cupboards correctly, because sometimes I'll open it and stuff will come falling down, and I like read on a forum that you shouldn't put heavy things on the top shelf, and like I totally understand, because I feel like when you fly on a plane and you land, I think of this every time we stop. You land and they're like, please be careful as things in the overhead bins may have shifted. I like say that to myself whenever we stop, because I'll open a cupboard and like all of my bathroom products just fall into my face, and I used to get so pissed, and I'm like, it happens every freaking time. And I tell myself, be careful because things may have shifted during flight. So that is very important. And like our heavier stuff, like our honey jar is like glass and heavy, and I like hide it behind this like little like rivet. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, make sure you organize very precisely, if that makes sense.
And
strategically.
Yeah. I would say be careful wherever you buy it from.
Yeah,
definitely be careful, and definitely realize that it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows. You're not going to buy that RV and ride off into the sunset with no problems. I've definitely learned that.
But we do see a lot of sunsets.
We do. We definitely learn no matter how much you think the coach is good to go and you think you have everything situated, there's always something that needs to be fixed. There's always something that is not working 100%. And it's all the time. And like I said before, I bought a new coach thinking I would avoid all that, but not so much.
Yeah.
What is the best time to apply for seasonal work in Alaska? Is it worth the risk to go up there first and then ask around?
Yes, it is, because that's how I started working in Alaska. I think we may have said this before, but maybe not. The first time we went to Alaska, I did not have a job, and I was only planning on staying for 3 weeks and then going home. And I loved Alaska and him. And so I walked into the brewery where I work. This was 3 years ago. I walked in and they were hiring. I was like, hey, I'm looking for a job. And they hired me right there. I mean, granted, that
5
was
minutes.
Very, very lucky situation.
Didn't somebody else call you back too?
I was in the right place in the right time.
I don't know. I definitely, the thing is, people are asking questions like, is it worth it? The thing is, a lot of people get stalled on that and they don't do it.
It's always worth it.
They get a little scared. And, it is a huge commitment. You're going to a new place. It's far away from home, but you can always find work up there, especially when you get up there in May. You get up there early. Places are hiring. And once you're up there, once you get that footing in Alaska, you're never going to want to leave. You're always going to want to come back, and you're going to be glad you took the risk to get up there and do it. If you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to put yourself out there, you're going to do really well up in Alaska. And it is expensive. The only thing I suggest is have a place to stay, a place to, to live while you're looking for work. I'm not saying sign a 6-month lease. I'm saying, maybe get a guest house or a hostel or somewhere cheap.
There's actually a lot of hostels.
Or if you're into this stuff, I suggest you buy a $2,000 van off Craigslist and just live out of your van.
Slab a bed in that puppy and you're good to go.
And I've seen people do it, and we did it the first time up there. Technically, we lived out of the van while we showered and cooked inside an apartment, the employee housing in Alaska. Anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it too.
Now, people.
But we're getting off here. We're at a friend's house.
I'm hungry.
Uh-oh. Well, thanks for watching, everybody.
Just moderately hungry.
Well, like I said, when we get to Alaska, we're going to probably do this every week. I'll probably be doing videos with James from Wanderlust Estate as well. And I'll be doing videos with Zepp and updates of living in the RV.
So if we didn't answer your question, I'm very sorry because I love answering these questions. So ask us again next time.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I got to get some food. Thanks, everybody. We love you. Bye.